Good day, this is Tata Tronco Seva doing another video. Today's video is going to be on the Nganga. First and foremost, let me just say that I do not claim to have the absolute truth. Now, with this being said, let's talk about a very important topic, which is the Nganga. It's extremely important. The Nganga is a fundamental part of the Palo Mayombe religion. It is the center of our practice, to say the very least. The Nganga is its own microcosm or universe within itself, which also imitates nature itself. It actually holds the powers of the four elements in it: fire, earth, air, and water. Now, this aspect of bringing all the forces of nature needed to work with into the Nganga was a concept created by the slaves themselves. It was extremely hard for a slave to constantly go off into nature whenever they needed to work with it. And also remember that the slave was taking a huge risk by going out to practice this religion in nature, considering the slave owners were either Catholics or Christians, which was a huge no-no to them. As a matter of fact, many slaves lost their lives at the hands of their slave owners because of this beautiful religion. So it was best to bring nature to Nganga, especially the sticks that go in the Nganga, which are paramount to any and all Nganga. Now, the Nganga also goes by the name of prenda, or jewel, or precious, because to a parero or parera, the Nganga is the most valuable thing that they have in this beautiful religion. Originally, the Nganga was called Tata, and the priest was called Nganga. But over the course of time, the names were switched, so now the priest is called Tata, and the cauldron is called Nganga. Remember, a lot of changes took place during the colonial times, during the times of slavery, in order to ensure that this beautiful religion survived. Like anything in life, if you don't adapt, you're not going to survive. So let's talk about the construction of the Nganga. Now, most Ngangas are constructed in a metal cauldron, with the exception of a few that are constructed in clay vessels. Most metal cauldrons have 3 legs on them, with the exception of a salavanda cauldron, which could have 4 legs. But there's also an older type of Nganga that's kept in a burlap sack, which is hung high in the ceiling. It's called bomba or saku, and that's far and few in between the people that have a Nganga like that. Now, inside the Nganga, the Nganga itself is a portal to different dimensional worlds, which could be opened up with the use of certain elements, with certain mumbles or chants, with certain patipimbas, sigils. Now, inside the Nganga lives the spirit of the dead called Mfumbe. And you also have the spirits like Nkisi, Nkita, and Ndoki, just to name a few, that also lived in the Nganga. More importantly, you have the Impungos that live in the Nganga, but only one dominates the Nganga. Like, for example, if it's a Siete Rayos cauldron, the Impungo Siete Rayos dominates the Nganga. Now, the Impungo dominates this world, which in turn orders the Infumbe, and the Infumbe in turn orders all the spirits that reside inside the Nganga. They have their own hierarchy. Now, like I said before, the spirit called the Infumbe lives in Nganga. This spirit will have the characteristics of the Impungo governing that Nganga. Now, the same goes for the Nganga itself. It will work with the element associated with the governing Impungo. For example, if the governing Impungo is Siete Rayos, then the principal element inside that cauldron will be fire. Or if it's a Nganga of Mamachora, then the principal element will be water. So you get the point there. Now, every Nganga is different from one another, just like every Mfumbe is different from one another. There's no two that are alike. Just like people, there are no two alike. That even includes twins. You might be identical twins when it comes to physical appearance, but you are your own individual self. So that's how this also works with the Nganga and the Mfumbe. Now let me make something extremely clear. It takes a strong mind in order to be able to control Nganga and to make it work for you. So if you're not strong mentally, I strongly suggest that you stay away from owning an Nganga. The last thing that you want in your life is a powerful spirit running loose and not respecting you. That is a big no-no, and it's a huge problem in itself. So if you're not mentally strong, stay away from that. This is not for you. The Nganga has many, many secrets in it, but it will continue to grow as long as you're alive, because the spirits will always ask for different things that they need in the Nganga in order to be able to continue to manifest all the works that you ask it to do for you. Now, to construct an Nganga takes anywhere from 4 weeks to 6 weeks to properly and correctly consecrate and construct an Nganga. It all depends on what type of Nganga that's being constructed. The Nganga can be passed down from a priest or priestess to someone, but only and only if the Nganga wishes it to be so. You can't force this, because then you're just going to bring a world of hurt to the person that inherits the Nganga. So this is the best gift and legacy that someone in the religion can leave behind once they are gone. If not, after the passing of the priest or priestess, the Nganga will have to be dismantled and all of its secrets taken back to where they rightfully belong. But if the Nganga had given birth to any other Nganga, it will continue to live on, because its energy still lives inside of these Ngangas. So in essence, the Nganga will continue to live on forever as long as these Ngangas continue to exist and continue to give birth. So I think this sums up the Nganga. So stay humble, be kind to one another, and until next time, may Sambi bless you and yours. Salam alaikum.